Yeah. Put them L's up for Loudon High. That's where I went to. Yeah. My high school. Anywho, man, I am here to assassinate the characters, y'all. I had to look back there, and I ain't know I had my vacuums all in the screen, all of that. Look at that. I don't want y'all all up in my house. Yeah, turn that way. Yeah. So, I'm here to assassinate these characters because I'm learning we got to kill off our idols. God told us not to have idols, not to celebrate people. You know what I mean? Only God is the person you should be looking to. Because when I'm looking at a lot of these characters, the things we grew up under, I'm a hip hop baby. You know what I mean? So a lot of things that I learned from rap music. I learned from, just having that culture of hip hop in me. But more importantly, I learned a lot of people been lying to us. I learned a lot of people been lying to us. When you go to, as a kid, usually adults will tell you, do as I say, not as I do, right? That's not right. That's not right. Because God says, based off the Bible and everything everyone else goes off of, right? It says, do unto others as you want done unto you. It says things like, you know, we have to understand what you give off is what you get back, right? We got to believe in some type of a karma. So we have to always understand that whatever you want to create is also something you can manifest, right? So if you're being taught to manifest the wrong things, what are you going to do? Consistently manifest the wrong things, subconsciously not knowing what you're doing, because you're looking at certain people who are telling you you should live a life that they don't even like living. Yeah, most of us don't understand that a lot of people will tell you how you should be living your life based off how they see you through their eyes, right? They haven't been through your experiences. They haven't done what you've done, none of that, right? I was talking to my two daughters the other day. One's 12, one is 6. And when I'm speaking to them, they had an issue and, they just kind of had some words back and forth. I won't go too deep, they don't want me putting all that out. But I end up telling one of them, what they should never say to each other and things of that nature. Man, I got this fly in here I've been trying to kill, and I'm gonna catch him right here in front of y'all. I always got a fly when I have a video too. I don't know why that keep happening. I need to get that right. But I got sidetracked. Anywho, I be squirreling too. Y'all know I be squirreling. I don't care though. I like to squirrel because I give you a lot of information. So back to my daughters. I told them, certain things they shouldn't say to each other, certain things they shouldn't do to each other. Because in the world, there are going to be mean people no matter where you go, and everyone's going to always have their opinion. So at the minimum, y'all have to treat each other a certain way and expect certain things of each other as people, because as an example, right, I tell them, if you're talking 12-year-old to the 6-year-old like this, imagine how the 6-year-old is receiving it, because they've only seen 6 years of life. Now you've seen 12, so your traumas of why you think you should talk down to a child. You know what I mean? I've been there, right? I went to counseling one time when I was married with my first wife, and the lady said that I talked down to my wife like I was, you know what I'm saying? Not like yelling at her like da 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 da, but I still talk down to her like, hey, can you do this? Versus, excuse me, do you mind, baby? I wasn't soft, but I wasn't raised by a soft mama. I didn't have a soft daddy. I didn't have a soft stepdaddy. At the end of the day, I had to change those things about myself. I had to learn that the way that you speak to people is very important. Some people I want them to know I'm talking down to you. Some people I want them to know I'm trying to make you feel away. But then when you in a love situation, and what I mean is not just a wife, but a homie, a child, anybody. When you in a love situation, you can't be talking down to that person and expect them to forget that. Yeah, people ain't gonna forget what you said to them. They won't forget what you said to them. I'll tell you what though, forget saying, people won't forget, more importantly, what you did to them. When you could have did the right thing, this is why I'm saying we got to kill these idols and stuff. If you do the right thing, then people typically don't forget that. When you could have done them wrong and you do them right, people don't forget that. And that gets you a lot of grace and a lot of favor over a lot of people in the community. That's one thing that I love about being like, and even in my community, right? I was talking to to somebody the other day, and they were telling me about how somebody said I couldn't go to certain neighborhoods, like neighborhoods I grew up in, paid rent in, 2 years, lived in, my kids in, all that, right? And it's so funny because it's like I was just in that neighborhood talking to the managers of the apartments over there, everything, talking about putting some events together, which I'm still gonna do. You know what I mean? And it's so funny because they say, don't do no events Aquarian over there, don't do that, da 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 da, because of this, and that. Man, listen here. Let me tell you something. One thing people don't understand when I be talking about gangsters and stuff like that. Do you know I know all of the gangsters? Yeah, so if it's like a real gangster in my community, I know him. Yeah, and he really like that. Me and him got no problems. We ain't never had no problems. He don't like the imposters. He don't like the people that make him look bad. He don't like the people that make his affiliation look bad because they feel they should only be, at this point, reactive in life, right? Reactive. They shouldn't be out here being active. They shouldn't be out here hurting nobody. No, they shouldn't be hurting nobody. See, I'm trying to get y'all to understand that there's a culture of young gentlemen, I'm 30, that are even in my age group, right? I'm picking my age group. And they've been guiding the kids to make it look like they were the leaders of our generation, and they weren't the leaders of our generation. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No matter who it is, whether it's sports players, gang members, it doesn't matter. Like, I've been leading the culture of my generation forever. I remember when I first wore floods with the ankle showing, no socks, everybody gassed me. Oh, they gassed me. They gassed me out. School, work, kid, everybody gassed me. Now everyone's kids dressed like me. In my community, everyone's kids dressed like me. They see a little bit of me in all of their children. Absolutely. They see a little bit of me in all their children. And I'm blessed. Let me say this. I am blessed that that would even come out like that. Now, they won't give me credit for it, and I don't mind, right? But I'm just trying to get people to start seeing, like, when you have a sense of originality, even when people hate on it, they talk about it so much that it becomes a thing, right? And people start being curious, and they start saying, well, I kind of like wearing tighter pants. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I kind of like putting on a suit, you know, maybe not with a tie busted open. I kind of like this style. And young men tend to grow to like those things. See, no one likes to talk about those things, right? They don't like to speak of the influences and things of that nature. So, back on subject, I told you I'd be squirreling. So, I'm just trying to now let people understand that the people that you usually look at as your idol is the one that's actually cutting you down. Yeah, yeah. The person that you look up to, you have to understand you shouldn't be looking up to them. Because if they've got more than you, then if they're not being a teacher, but more of being just a student to you, then they trying to get something out of you. You know, I always tell people, like, I'm big on, you know, blind loyalty. I don't think you should have to ask people for loyalty. I think when you meet an individual, if I meet you at Lowe's and I help you carry your plywood to the car, that is blind loyalty, right? So next time you come in, if you having a little bit of an issue, you're gonna see me, right? I work at Lowe's. You're gonna see me. And I'm gonna be like, oh yeah, shoot, I'm right here. I'm right here. Hey man, what's going on? Yeah. Oh yeah, remember, you help me? Okay, hey, yeah, man, I had a woo woo woo. Can you help me? Oh yeah, I can help you. Now that individual has a sense of familiarity. Now Lowe's, right, has an important employee because they have someone who consistently spends money coming back to there, not even paying attention to that it's Lowe's anymore. They love working with that individual. See, people don't realize value is not in just money. Value is in relationships. That's where the real gold is. And the gold is, let me say this, value is in relationships. That would be your gold. Your currency is how hard you work, which would be your oil, right? Value would be in your gold. Your currency would be in oil. Oh, I like that. Let me write that down. Let me write that down, y'all. See, I be having some quotes. I wow myself sometimes. Is in gold. Currency is in, oh, excuse me, oil is your work. Currency, whatever. Anywho, the point of it all is this. We have to understand as a people that there's more than just how much money someone's got, what type of car they drive, what kind of home they live in. So every time you meet somebody, if you ask them, what do? You're asking the wrong questions. You haven't created a relationship, right? You haven't made that value. You know, we have to understand, you have to earn your position in certain places, and people don't understand. Positions are like the stock market in relationships. Right? Stock market goes up, stock market goes down. You have to consciously keep building that stock. Some stocks can be overvalued, some can be undervalued, right? On the undervalued ones, you want to get in them early. On the overvalued ones, you don't even want to get in them. You just watch them and say, damn, that's going to be a big drop when it drops. See, we as people have forgotten, coming to this earth, that God didn't create the US dollar. No, God's money is gold, first things first. But God created us to come here, fellowship, and enjoy the 3D human experience, right? That's what you're supposed to do. You come here to enjoy the human experience. That's why you shouldn't be scared of anything. You shouldn't be scared of death. Death is a beautiful thing, right? You die, guess what? You're going somewhere else. I don't know where you're going, but you're going somewhere else. So let me say, I won't discuss it right now, but if you did right, you're going to the upper room. And that's my point. So I've learned that it doesn't matter what anyone thinks the direction should be. You have to direct yourself. Because if you let them direct you, the moment that you fail, then they're not going to take responsibility for your failure. If you direct them, the moment they fail, they're going to expect you to take favor or direction for or toward fixing their issue, right? And I've even learned people will always want you to be quiet about the wrongs that they've done to you, right? Your idols and things of that nature. They want you to be quiet about the wrongs that they've done to you. Matter of fact, I was talking to my partner yesterday. This is one of my favorites because this is actually what I'm going over. You want me, you doing something wrong to me. You want me to be quiet about it and not tell anybody. But if I do tell people, then you will lie to them about what really happened because you're upset at me because I told them the truth. Think about that. It started with you. I told the truth after it started with you, and it ends with you still lying. Think about that. That's the predicament in the situations that we've been put into nowadays as people in all of our, not only just in the states, right? We have to start with your local community, and I'm glad this comes up because this is very important. In your local community, you have to understand, not even there, you have to start in your home first. Start in your home first, right? And excuse me, rewind, because I'm gonna go all the way there. Start with yourself first, right? Once you fix yourself, you do a little circle, then you go into your home and you work on your family, right? And after you work on your family, then you step outside of your home and you work on your neighbor, your street, right? Then maybe you move through the neighborhood, then you move through the community, but you have to make your way to those local things going on, right? Local meetings, no matter what meeting it is, whatever you're interested in, right? It can be arts and humanities, it can be anything, but you have to get interested and get involved into your local community, because if you don't get involved in your local community, the issue that gives you is it slows up, excuse me, not even that. You don't understand at the state level, they trickle those things down to your local community. And when they do, if you don't know what's going on your local community level, that means that you're not knowing what you're getting from the state. You don't even need to meet with the state. You can see what y'all are receiving by just simply being a part of your local, everything going on local. You can see what you're receiving. And after a while, you're going to say, man, maybe we ain't getting enough. Then you may want to go to that state level. But everyone has to understand it's a stair-step process. Because if you don't fix yourself first, when you come out in the community, there are going to be people who are going to gaslight you. They're going to think you're the old you. They're going to try all kinds of stuff to get you to be the old you, whether it's bad, good, it doesn't matter, right? It isn't about the angry stuff. It's about just get you to conduct yourself. If you're, you could be a drinker, so they may get you to drink. You can be just whatever, right? They can get you to do something out of character that they can hold against you, right? Guess what? Be yourself. Because if you're yourself, right? Even if it's something they don't like, you can be comfortable with it and say, well, my friends are okay with me being this way. And they validate me, so I'm okay with that. So that's, getting comfortable in your skin is very important on this process. So once you get yourself situated, then you have to work on your family. You may have to weed out parents. You may have to weed out your children. Believe it or not, yes, you may have to send certain kids with their other parent and get them out of your household. Still take care of them, still care about them, but you may have to weed those children out. And it's important because you don't want these children poisoning the other children. And it sounds bad, but you can work on those children in a separate manner or whatever, or with that parent, because most children, if they're poisoned, it's because one of the parents is telling the children what they're doing theoretically or essentially is okay, right? They're green lighting what they're doing. So they need to go with that parent so that that parent can deal with those issues, and you work with them from a distance and be respectful. Now, once you get your children situated and you get everyone happy with the journey that you're on and all of those things, then you move into your friendships. Then once you move into your friendships, you're probably gonna cut that down. Man, I'm gonna tell you right now, if it's up to 10, man, me and Amira, me and my daughter, we went through her book, her yearbook, and she told me, this my friend, this my friend, this my friend. And I said, well, all right. I ain't want to say nothing. You know, we know how parents be cutting kids down, but getting to where I'm at now, I'm gonna tell you like this. You're gonna cut that down to 2 or 3. You might keep a couple extra to talk to just for fun, but you know, you're not gonna keep a lot of people around you if you want to be successful. You're not, you know, you're gonna have a lot of people maybe working for you, things of that nature, but you're not gonna have them around you daily. So after you get your friends set up, you get all of that stuff set up, your family, who you gonna deal with, all of that stuff, but don't deal with nobody through money. That's one thing. Man, if you gotta do money with somebody, you almost want to stay away from them, because if you're not paying people or they're not, see, if they're doing for you, you'll just know what they're doing for you. But if you're not doing for others, then you can't know who loves you, who doesn't. Because a lot of people just have their hand out and you don't notice because you got it. A lot of people have their hand out and you don't notice because you got it. And we have to start noticing every pay. I went to see a lady. I went to the beauty supply the other day to get some oil for my hair. And when I go and say Asian lady, and everyone always talks about how the Asian people are mean and blah, 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 all that stuff, right? So when I go in, this Asian lady, God dang it, this thingy fell off. So when I go in, this Asian lady, she's, gosh darn, when I go in, this Asian lady, she's, she ends up telling me, I end up giving her like an extra dollar basically. When I give her the extra dollar, she gives it back to me and I'm like, oh, thank you so much, man. I need to pay attention, da 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 da. She says, no, you take great care of us, so I take care of you. And I'm saying that to say, why would she say that? Is it because I just come in and buy stuff? Is she into the local politics in her community? Because everyone in my community knows me at this point, which is beautiful. Once again, I didn't know that when I was younger. So that's my point. Everyone's watching. Nobody's perfect. Everyone's watching. No one's perfect. We have to start utilizing all of what we can as a community, as a people, become more unified. Once we become more unified, then that's going to be more beneficial for us. Because you're going to realize that most people at this point, they're not into the me versus you, you versus me stuff. They're like, look, man, I'm running a business. You want to do some business? You running a business? Okay. Man, I don't mind promoting you. I mean, can you help me out too, though? Yeah. What can we do to cross-reference? Most people are very open to cross-reference in law. You know, the issue that we have is when the elites get involved. Yeah, and they tell us, you know, they want you to pick your prices. They want to pull away our special people from us and basically get them to not work with us, man. Like, we have people that are very talented in our community that others don't get to work with, you know, because these people they've just created such an imbalance in the powers that they'll overpay for things just to keep others from not prospering. I mean, it's sad. So kill the idols. They don't even need to become your rivals, right? Because most people are your idols because you want to do something like them. Typically, you're going to perfect that skill and do it better than them, you know? It's not to say that you're better than them, right? They come from a different era, but you're going to perfect that skill and do it better. But then from there, you have to create your own sauce, create your own flavor, create your own whatever you're going to do, right? So we all know what we want to do. We know where we want to go. We know what we're trying, not trying, that's why I stuttered. We know what we're going to accomplish. We got to start also being very important. The English language is a very particular language, very particular. And most people don't understand the words that you speak out of your mouth. Those are spells. Those are spells. I don't care what anyone says. So when you're speaking a word out of your mouth, you make sure it's a positive word. That's why you always, when you're speaking about someone, even if they're not around, if you're telling the truth, you're telling the truth. But you do your best to always give a positive understanding, not spin. Spin would be turning it, a positive understanding or overstanding of what you're directing everything towards. We have to create change. The only way we can create change is to be the change. If people see the change in you, then they're going to say, if they did it, I can do it, right? Everyone always says that. Anything you can do, I can do better. They're always going to copy you no matter what. So if they're going to copy you, then at least let it be for a positive. And those that are real are going to progress. You're going to see them at the top. The ones that are faking, whenever someone attacks their character, right? When they attack the characters that they have, then they're going to get offended and they'll tell you why they are what they are, right? So we need to stay motivated, stay in tune. I'm glad that most people are starting to understand the value of self because you're more important than anybody around you, including your kids, your family, everybody. You have to love you. And if you don't love you, you won't prosper. Stay motivated.